Hi, I'm Pastor Kurt, and this is your 5-minute Bible study. Today, we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 1, verses 57 through 80. Now, this is the scene of the birth of John the Baptist. Well, at least that's maybe what the title in your Bible calls it. It's really about his naming. 8 days after a baby boy was born, he was taken to the temple to be circumcised and named. Well, we hear about that moment here for John. When it comes time for the people to hear, okay, what's this baby's name? Elizabeth says his name is John, because that's what the angel had told Zechariah. Well, they get all confused. They say, there's nobody in your family by the name of John. Why are you naming him this? They thought he was going to be named something that they knew, something from the family. Maybe Zechariah Jr., I don't know, but the name of John was a big surprise for them. Well, remember, Zechariah still can't speak. When the angel appeared to him and told him that he and Elizabeth were going to have John the Baptist, he didn't believe what the angel said. And so the angel told him, well, since you didn't believe my words, you won't be able to speak until the baby is born. Well, John has been born, he's at the temple, and Zechariah still can't speak. When everybody turns to him to say, your wife just said this boy's going to be named John, but that seems kind of strange to us. What do you think? Zechariah wrote on a tablet, his name is John. Then his tongue was loosened and he was able to speak again. And when he speaks, he sings. In the last video, I talked a little bit about Mary's Magnificat. If you look at the text on the page, it's laid out like a song, or like we see in the book of Psalms. It's not laid out in prose or in paragraph form like all the other text on the page. It's laid out like a song. Zechariah sings here. There's a lot of singing taking place in these first couple of chapters in the book of John. I think it would be great if somebody took all these songs and made like a musical about Christmas. There's plenty of songs to use that are already there. Well, Zechariah starts to sing his song. And when you look at his song, the first part of it isn't about John. It's about Jesus. Zechariah sings about who Jesus is going to be. Then at the end of the song, like the last third or so of the song, he sings about John. And he says that John is going to prepare the way for Jesus. This is what's going to happen in their adult years. This is exactly what John is going to do for Jesus. He is going to prepare the way for him. Zechariah already knows this. So it's kind of like spoilers for us as the readers. Or you can think of it as foreshadowing too, right? This is how these characters are going to work as the story continues to unfold. So Zechariah sings about Jesus and about John. Once again, these two stories are intersecting. Remember, a couple of videos ago, I said that these two stories happen in parallel with each other. The story of the birth of John the Baptist and the story of the birth of Jesus. Then, when we get to the visitation of Mary to Elizabeth, then the two stories intersect because we've got characters from both stories interacting with each other. Now, in Zechariah's song, he is singing about what John and Jesus are going to do. We're not going to hear much more about Zechariah and Elizabeth and Mary and Joseph. We'll hear about the famous Christmas story right after this. But pretty soon, this story is going to take off. And it's going to shift basically from one generation of the parents to their children. This is how the story unfolds, and this is what Zechariah is singing about here. Think about your life. What are things that you celebrate and sing about? In our culture, we don't sing a whole lot. In some senses, yes, we do. Yes, you've gone to concerts, you hear people singing on the radio, but in your life, do you ever just break out in song? If you do, sometimes people might look at you funny because that's what people do in musicals, right? They're just going about their lives, and then all of a sudden, here's a big musical number, right? Well, in your life, what makes you sing? What makes you rejoice? Probably the closest that we get is usually singing happy birthday at somebody's birthday party or take me out to the ball game at a baseball game. But in your heart, what makes you sing? What do you want to celebrate in your life? For Zechariah, he is celebrating the birth of Jesus and the birth of John. I imagine that the birth of your kids, if you have kids, was a reason for you to celebrate, that you were singing in your heart about them. God is working in the lives of Elizabeth and Mary and Zechariah and Joseph and John and Jesus. And there's lots of songs, lots of celebrating and rejoicing going on. And when God works in your life, I bet there's a lot of rejoicing going on too. There's your 5-minute Bible study for the day. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.